What up, everybody? It's me again, Mr. Right with the Touken Ranbu deck profile. This is the point 2.0 that I'm trying to make. I was having trouble before with the synergy of the previous build, and it was just like it was there, but it wasn't doing enough. And so I settled with the Shinken. He sucks. Ability. I probably will tinker around with it more, but I've officially got a lot more playability out of this current build, and I actually had a lot more fun than I did with the previous build in my previous video. So this is Kasen Kanesada, the Shinken booster. So basically, you put it in the soul pretty much at any time. Give 2 units with the Shinken Hisatsu ability plus 3,000 power. You could do this during the turn that you stride, during the last turn that you want to boost up your rear guards or what have you. So I'm going to start with my trigger lineup. Now, I like hand presence, and I like having replaceable units, or should I get skills off and have to discard, I have certain cards. So I have 6 crit with the Toshiro crit, and then we have the Mitsutada crit trigger. Pretty much a draw trigger once you put them in on the rear guard circle, and he's at stand, and your vanguard attacks. Put him in the soul, give 2 units 3,000 power apiece, and then draw a card. Fantastic for getting those, again, much deserved big ass numbers. Then we got 2 of this Toshiro draw trigger and 4 of this Toshiro draw trigger. You'll see why I run so much Toshiro if you haven't guessed already. And then 4 Gokutai heal triggers. Ones. Now, this being the only PG, we have Kosetsu Samonji, the PGG damage countercharger. Then this deck is semi stride reliant, not necessary, but for those just to again stride. And should I need some countercharging, this goes into the soul when you have a grade 4. And then it not only gives you grade 4 plus 5,000 power, and should the attack hit, it gets the Homare ability. And with Homare, you can only pay the cost for 1 Homare skill per turn. But anyway, Soul Blast 1 and Counter Charge 2, and that can be very invaluable. Then we got 2 Koni Hero. When you place him, you have 3 damage, or Shinken, he suts. You soul charge 1 after you counter blast, and he gets to be an 11k attacker or booster for that turn. Then we have 2 of this Toshiro. When you boost the Vanguard, and you can draw a card and discard a card if you soul blast 1. Yeah, that's why, again, with the draw triggers, you can start pitching those off and hopefully getting some more attackers. And then, of course, it's a 6k body, but should you have this guy on field, it gets to be an 8k body. So, and of course, with this guy, if he's boosting Ichigo Hitofuri, he gets a 9k boost, so that puts 3k boost, putting him at 9k. Not to mention him being on field gives him a 2k boost, so he's an 11k booster should he be boosting Ichigo. So fantastic card. These 2 I run 2-2 just because I want to see him consistently, but not overly abundantly, and I just so my 2s, we're running 3 of Yasu Sada. His Shinken ability is Counter Blast 1 before you start attacking, and then he gains the whole Mare. He then becomes an 11k attacker, and should he hit the Vanguard, he gets to draw 2 cards after you discard a card. So again, the draw triggers can start playing a very valuable resource dump. And then we got Masakuni, the 12K attacker, should you have Shinken available. And then we have the other Kanesada. Should you have, again, 3 damage and he's boosted, you can Soul Blast 1 and he then becomes a 12K attacker. And should you want to bounce something in the back row with the Shinken Hisatsu ability, which would be Kunihiro, that can make him him and Kunihiro could be a 23K column. So that's a very good solid number, and you can bounce him back to hand should you want to do so. If not, then it's still a 12K attack. Either way, so we're gonna go ahead with the 3s. This here is Ichigo Hito Fury. Now, he's a Vanguard rear guard. Mainly, you want him on rear guard just because of his cost. Kind of blast, so blast 1, we have Shinken available. And then he gets a plus 4,000 power for each of your rear guards with Toshiro and Cardinal. So those draw triggers I was telling you about, those 2 separate crit triggers, and then 4 of the grade 1s that I have are all Toshiro. So you can start filling the field with Toshiro. Then your opponent will start wondering, why don't they start killing the Toshiros off? So, but they can't really touch the back row unless they're, Narukami or Kagero or, other clans of such that can attack back rows or start sniping off back row. And then we have the other main grade 3, Kuninaga. So his Homare ability, when he hits the Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, Counter Charge 1, and get a grade 3 from your drop zone added to hand. Good for getting Ichigo back. Not necessary, but again, Ichigo is a very heavy hitter. Then we have during your turn when you stride over this card, Soul Charge 1. So this is going to be a lot of your Soul Charge right here. And then choose 2 of your units and give them plus 3,000 power. Now I'm going to show you toward the end of the video of a lot of hopefully you'll get the cards in alignment and you can start guarding said cards. But anyway, my strides. We have 2 Iwatoshi. So, pretty much kind of blast 1 persona flip. He can be your first ride. Should your opponent have a full front row, he can attack the whole front row just by 1 counter blast and persona flipping. Easy peasy. Then we have 4 Tarutachi. I have 4 of these just because he gives your Shinken rear guards plus 3,000 in the front row. So again, with Kuninaga giving plus 3, and then him and all of your rear guards being Shinken anyway, you're gonna easily put 6K upon your rear guards. Not to mention the starter. That's 9K in total. And then we have Munichika, pretty much the be all end all card. Counterblast 1, flip up 1 of your units in the G zone. That's why I have 4 Taratachis, just because those aren't persona specific. So you can flip up 1 of those, and then for each card face up in the G zone, he gets plus 3. For every 2 cards, he gets to snipe off a front row rear guard. And should there be 2 or more face up in the G zone, he gets a crit. So he's like a Blizzard with a crit almost. So Blizzard meets Kagero in a sense. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But again, I will show you my ideal field. Now, this is also in a perfect world where we have the Ichigo and Toshiro back row rear guards, and then we have Kuninaga, and you did your whole Soul Charge plus 3, and then plus 3, and not to mention these are now boosting for what is that, 6, then boosting each go 9, and then 11. So 11 and then 22. Then he gets +4. So 26, 30, 34. So these are 34K columns alone. The Vanguard, what was it? 26 and 8, 32. So yeah, pretty big numbers just for, just for very little to low cost. The thing is, you really want to watch paying his cost to use his effect to gain that +4 for each Toshiro. But if you're pushing for game and you know you've counted your resources, make every bit count. Like I said, this can be your final turn, or here we go. So hopefully this deck gave a little bit more chaos, a little bit more mayhem in your card fighting areas. If you liked the video, go ahead and press that like button. If you make any suggestions or any changes to the deck, leave them in the comments section, and I would greatly appreciate the support.